Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Katie Steiner, and we have a picture-perfect weekend in store for you, so we are going to head straight over to the man of the hour with all of the good news, meteorologist Chris Franklin.
Wow, man of the hour?
That's it.
That's something else.
I might say man of the weekend.
I think you should.
Yeah.
I would agree with that, 100%. Let's take a look at what's happening outside right now.
We start this morning with breaking news. Police say that a woman was walking in the street when she was hit and killed by a motorcycle driver early this morning. The NOPD is investigating this fatal crash on Old Gentilly Road that's close to the NASA Michoud facility. It happened at 4:45 this morning. And the Baton Rouge police have decided to release the body camera video from the two officers in Alton Sterling's death back in 2016. The Baton Rouge police chief announced that he was going to release that after he announced what he was going to do with the two police officers, Blaine Salamone and Howie Lake II. After holding hearings on the officers' actions, Police Chief Murphy Paul fired Salamone for violating its policies on use of force and command of temper. The chief decided that Officer Lake did not show a command of temper and suspended him for 3 days. Chief Paul says that those decisions are, quote, the right ones, end quote. He said that right after announcing his decisions to discipline two officers. Then he released the video from the body cameras of both officers that night that Sterling was shot and killed outside of a Baton Rouge convenience store. We're going to see portions of those videos, and we want to warn you that some of those images that you're going to see are very graphic. Tong Trong has more. Now, Alton Sterling's family spoke out following the announcement of Officer Salamone being fired. They also commented on the video of the shooting that the police chief released. You just saw that video. Attorney Michael Adams says the family feels the video will allow the truth to come out.
An internal decision that he made.
The family says that it appreciated the courage shown by Chief Murphy Paul in firing Salamone, but there's also disappointment, sadness, and anger that the state and federal investigations didn't result in any charges of the officers. The family has filed a civil lawsuit against the officers, the police department, and the city of Baton Rouge. In order to read all of the documents and the investigation in full, if you want to see all of the videos, just head over to our website at WWLTV.com. And an update now on another high-profile police shooting, this one in Sacramento, California. The family of 22-year-old Stephon Clark released an independent autopsy that they say contradicts the police account of his death. Clark was shot a total of 8 times by police, with most of those shots through his back. 2 Sacramento officers began chasing Clark after reports of someone breaking car windows. They pursued him into his grandmother's yard and fired at least 20 shots. Clark also suffered an 8th wound as he was falling or already on the ground. Police say that Clark advanced on them with what they thought was a gun, but he only had an iPhone. So far, the Sacramento County Coroner's Office has not released the results of its autopsy. We'll have more details on this story in our next half hour, so stay with us. And now here's Tong Trong with a preview of a story that you will only see in Sunday's New Orleans Advocate. And there are so many fun outdoor events planned in the metro area between now and Easter Sunday, just a couple of days. One of the highlights is Chris Owens' French Quarter Easter Parade taking place tomorrow. So, is the weather going to cooperate? Is it going to stay nice and sunny out there? We know who has the answer to that question. That guy.
Are you going to let me do this?
Franklin.
I like the build-up, but
Go.
come on, Katie.
Go.
We got a lot of sunshine now. It looks like plenty of sun.
And the weather is going to be fantastic for this Easter weekend, and there's a lot of events going on, like the Crescent City Classic, which just started about 12 minutes ago. The race kicked off at 8 o'clock this morning. It started at the Superdome, and then it ends at City Park at the New Orleans Museum of Art. And Race Fest is going to be following in City Park. So if you're driving around near that route, might be a little tricky this morning. I would just try to avoid the area. And over in Jefferson Parish, it's the last day of Bunny Fest this morning at Lafreniere Park in Metairie. It's going to run from 11 o'clock this morning until 6 o'clock tonight. There's going to be a lot of fun things for the kids to do and for the young at heart as well. $7 for adults and $5 for kids. And if you're looking for something to do on Easter Sunday, there are a whole lot of parades rolling through the French Quarter tomorrow. We're going to list them all out for you. The historic French Quarter Easter Parade, that rolls at 9:45 tomorrow morning. It starts at Antoine's Restaurant, heads to St. Louis Cathedral for Mass at 11 o'clock before heading back to the restaurant. And then at 11 on Easter Sunday, you have entertainer Chris Owens. She is going to lead the French Quarter Easter Parade starting at the Omni Royal Orleans. It begins with brunch and a hat contest before marching through the quarter tomorrow afternoon. And the official gay Easter Parade rolls Sunday evening at 4:30 from Grand Prix on Rampart. Money raised from this year's parade will benefit the Food for Friends program. Chris, there's so much going on, but let me tell you, my husband and my brother-in-law are in town this weekend. They're running the Crescent City Classic.
Oh, so they're running it. They're serious.
They're intense. Yeah. So Patrick's, my brother-in-law, has run the Boston like every year. He's very, very good. And then my husband is trying to get his Boston.
The Boston Marathon.
They're serious, yeah.
Which is 26 miles.
Yeah, they're a little crazy.
This is 6.2. So this one's
This is just a cakewalk.
Comparatively, this is easy.
Yes, but my husband came, so he travels a lot, so he's gone all the time. He comes home on weekends. He's like, this weather is beautiful.
It's
I mean,
perfect.
you cannot give us
running.
any better running weather.
I was gonna run it, but I had to be here. So
darn it, Chris! You were trained and ready to go.
I was all ready to go. I was all limbered up.
Excuse me while I go throw up.
What?
You were not trained and ready to go. Don't lie. I can go for days, so but I don't.
What, dancing and singing?
Nobody wants to see
that. Like a fool?
Yep, like a fool, like a fool. But it's sunny and beautiful.
It is.
And so perfect for Easter and for running and
You're
for
right.
anything outside.
Now, I don't know how fast those guys are. The Crescent City Classic started a half hour ago. I wonder if anybody has finished yet?
Oh, I would bet. I mean, we're a half an hour? It's only 6 miles.
6.2,
so yeah.
So maybe they finish it? I don't know. I don't know how fast
would not
they
be
are.
surprised if people have already
finished?
Mm-hmm. Which is impressive. I can't run 6 miles
No, it
in
took me a
6
couple of hours to finish it.
A couple? It would take me like 6.
No, I mean, you kind of walk, you have fun.
I want to catch you up on some of the stories we brought you at the top of the hour. We're following breaking news out of New Orleans East. Police say that just before 5 o'clock this morning, a woman was walking in the street when she was hit and killed by a motorcycle driver early this morning on Old Gentilly Road. That's close to the NASA Michoud facility. And new this morning, the family of an unarmed California man who was killed by police released an independent autopsy, and it contradicts the police account of his death. Chris Martinez has more. A traffic stop in Pasadena, Texas, leads to a deadly police shootout. What started as a simple running a stop sign turns into a gunfight. The officer and driver exchanged shots, and even though the driver took a bullet, he points his gun at the officers again. The suspect was shot and killed by police, and the shooting is under investigation. Now, first responders from the St. Louis Fire Department resuscitate a cat they saved from a burning home, all while actively fighting the flames. Take a look at that. The fire captain located the cat on the 2nd floor of the building and carried it to safety. And when the cat was returned with its owner, it was breathing all on its own. That little guy is expected to be okay. And in Palestine, the health ministry says that 16 people have died during Israeli army fire along the border. It says it's the deadliest day in Gaza since last year. The ministry says that more than 1,000 Palestinians were injured on Friday by tear gas, live rounds, and rubber-coated steel pellets. It all happened as thousands of Palestinians marched toward the border. Some people were throwing stones. A senior UN official told the Security Council that the situation in Gaza, quote, might deteriorate in the next couple of days, end quote. He also called both armies not to target civilians, especially kids. U.S. Embassy staff started moving out of the St. Petersburg consulate yesterday after Moscow shut it down. Russia is closing the consulate and kicking out 60 U.S. diplomats. You can see here people carrying bags and furniture out of the consulate gates and then putting them in their cars. Russia says that they needed to be out of the country by April 5th. That's next week. And this is in response of President Trump closing the Russian consulate here in Seattle. Welcome back. It's 8:42, and yesterday was one of the holiest days of the year for Catholics, Good Friday. The Pope presided over a torchlit Way of the Cross procession last night, reenacting Christ's crucifixion at the Colosseum in Rome. You can see him here wearing a white coat, listening to meditations at each station. This year, prayers were written by students because Pope Francis dedicated this year to the hopes and concerns of young people in the church. The meditations explored suffering, failure, hope, and conflict. Now, students carried the cross through the Colosseum, as well as a Syrian family and an Iraqi nun. The Vatican estimated that 20,000 people participated in this procession. And Catholics didn't just march in Rome, many marched in Jerusalem as well, tracing the path that many people think Jesus actually walked before his crucifixion. Some pilgrims carried crosses, as you see here, as they walked the narrow Via Dolorosa. There were 14 stations along the route, each marking an event that Jesus took on his final walk. The final 5 stations were inside the church, which is built over the area where many Christians believe that Jesus was crucified and finally laid to rest before being resurrected on Easter Sunday. And the Jewish celebration of Passover began last night at sundown. Orthodox Jews in Spring Valley, Rockland County observed the ritual of burning of the bread in preparation. So members of the community tossed their leavened bread into this fire. Passover marks the liberation of the Jewish people from slavery in Egypt thousands of years ago. They left in such a hurry they couldn't wait for their bread to rise. Unleavened matzah is eaten during the holiday. And many people have traditions for Good Friday. New Orleanians giving up meat. Crawfish is often on the menu. Photojournalist Derek Waldrop went to Schaefer Seafood in Bucktown, where the place was absolutely packed. Okay, this package is just rude because now
we don't have any crawfish here right now. If we're going to show, there needs to be a rule. If we're going to show crawfish in a story, we need to then have said
to
crawfish.
be eating it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Agreed.
and so we apologize to everyone at home who's in the same predicament that we are
that
with
they don't
no
have
crawfish.
Easy access to crawfish right now.
And if you have a crawfish boil this morning,
Please invite us. We'll be there.
and everyone else who's watching, because we really want some crawfish.
Yeah.
That looks so good.
It does look good. They were good size too.
Oh my gosh, I was at a seafood place yesterday and I couldn't believe how many people were there.
So you even attempted to go buy it yesterday.
Oh, I went yesterday and I felt like an idiot. Everybody was buying crawfish and I was like, "Hi, can I have 2 pieces of filet fish? Thanks." I just wanted something small for my husband and then he didn't even end up eating it. The
Ungrateful.
worst. Husbands are the worst.
Hey!
Yeah, that was definitely aimed at you there, Chris.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Well, your husband's not watching. He's out at the Crescent City Classic. Lots of sun.
Artist and mother of 2 has taken the phrase good enough to eat to a whole new level with graphic body part cake art. Don't worry, what you are watching is just cake. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Wow, what?
That's a cake?
I feel like we needed to warm you. Oh my gosh. So that's all cake. That looks like a heart. I don't think I would want to eat that.
No.
Oh my gosh, I'm still like cringing over that.
Oh no.
What?
Okay.
Looks like there's jelly inside of the dentures.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I'm not watching the eyeballs.
Okay.
I refuse to. I'm not
Okay.
even looking.
Can we turn this off?
Please stop. That is just awful. And why are they 2 different colors? I mean, they are very realistic.
They're
guess.
very real. I mean, she's got talent.
Yeah.
But I don't want a cake that looks like that.
My gosh, that is disgusting.
No.
And
no.
Why?
No.
Why?
No, stop showing it behind us. Stop showing it back there. You're using the weather monitor for evil.
Relax.
Stop that.
Relax. Calm down.
The hand.
Good air in.
The hand.
Good air in. Good air in. There we go. Bad air out. Okay. There we go.
I'm going to turn off that
sorry
monitor.
about
if you
that.
Don't stop showing it back
I don't think
there.
Chris is going to sleep tonight.
I'm
or
not.
your nap. So here's my question. What's better, face yoga or that?
Better?
Yeah.
Face yoga hysterical. This is disturbing.
But which one would you rather watch?
The face yoga.
Okay.
That I can make fun of that.
You can make
Felt a
fun
little
of.
nauseous.
You can make fun of that.
Right.
Who does that?
I mean, you have to admit the
She has
woman has
talent.
incredible talent, but
Yes.
I don't want to cut into that.
So we apologize if you just threw up like we almost just did.
The hand thing.
Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you guys tomorrow at 6.